All right, hey everybody, and welcome to Zenfolio Live. My mic keeps trying to creep down on my head. There we go. Hey everybody, not Zenfolio Live. Welcome to Site Review Tuesday. Man, can you guys tell that I'm not on top of my game? I am wasted tired. But hey, welcome to Site Review Tuesday. Thank you guys for joining me on the live stream. This is your first time hanging out with us. Make sure to say hi to us in the chat. Let us know where you're from. If this is your first time on Site Review Tuesday, I'm going to explain how things work. But if you know how things work, go ahead and drop a number in the chat from 1 to 107 to decide that first site that we're going to review. So go ahead and drop a number in the chat for me. But hey, if this is the first time joining us, this is the way it works. We're going to be reviewing 3 websites today. We're going to be doing 15 minutes per review. The third site is going to come from one of you guys there in the chat. And as always, we're giving points, but it's all in fun. We're not really keeping score. So again, go ahead and drop a number in the chat. That's going to decide the first site that we review, a number from 1 to 107. Let's see. I think I got a few announcements. Let me see what the announcement screen says. Let's see. The Book Me special is still going on. You get 3 months for 99 cents. Make sure that you check that out. This screen is a little outdated, so actually, no, it's not. So this Thursday, we are going to be talking about client campaigns with a special guest. So you definitely want to make sure that you join us this Thursday for that. Also, don't forget, we are doing the group training sessions that are covering basic selling and advanced selling. So if you guys haven't checked out one of those, make sure that you go check out the sign up links. And then we are continuing our challenge of challenging you guys to post something positive daily on your social media and use the hashtag Zenfolio Photographer. So if you take a sweet selfie or if you just have a really great photo that you want to share, post it, use the hashtag Zenfolio Photographers for a chance for that image to be shared on our social media platforms. Now, hanging out with me, taking care of you guys in chat, I've got the amazing and talented Katie. Make sure that you guys show her some love. She does such a great job at helping me take care of you guys in chat. Let's see. Ian Oliver said number 4. So we're going to pull number 4 up and we'll go ahead and get started with today's review. So let me switch over here and let me go to that number 4 site and see which site that is. And hey, if you haven't had your site reviewed yet, you guys can submit your site for review. The link to do that should be in the description below this video. And also, I'm sure Katie will be throwing that link out for you guys as well. So make sure you get your site in there. Because like I said earlier, the third site that we're going to review today will come from one of you guys hanging out in the live chat. All right, so let me see. Ian said number 4. Let me go grab number 4 and we'll get that pulled over. Looks like that's going to be ChristinaCho.com. So let me get that pulled over here so we can get that set up. There we go. All right. So let me go ahead and get 15 minutes up on the clock and we'll get started with this review. All right. Let's see here. Review time. There we go. My stuff is not working all the way properly. Okay, so 15 minutes up on the clock. Here we go. Let me just go ahead and drop this down so you guys can see this link. I'll throw it in the chat for you guys as well. Here we go. Paste that in here for you guys. It's probably going to come a little early. I know there's a weird delay, but that's how it works. Okay, so just starting up here, ChristinaCho.com. This is the address. It does look like you do have kind of an updated favicon up here. It is a really small, kind of hard to see. Something you might want to think about going back in and re-editing that. Maybe just do the double C's and crop in really tight. Make those a little bit bolder. And that way it will show up a little bit better here. Let's see what information you got on your website title here. So Christina Cho Photography, Family and Wedding Photographer. Where, Christina, put that in that title because that's going to show up here. It's going to show up in Google search results. It's going to let people know where you're located and if they can or cannot hire you based on their location. So make sure that you get that information put in the website title. This is a setting that we typically do when we first create our account and then we kind of move on and forget about it as we go down the road. That setting is found under, if you hover over your name in the top right corner of your account, click on account, and then go to, I think it's website, search engine optimization. You'll see website title. That's where you can enter that information, and that information is what shows up right up here. So it's really helpful for people doing searches, really helpful for you, helpful for search engines as well. All right, really cool logo. I like the nice little flow. It feels really elegant. It kind of matches the style of your site here. And you have a really cool homepage setup. Now, one of the things that I would probably recommend is if you're going to, let's see, if you're going to have a slideshow on the homepage, make sure that that slideshow does loop. Okay, so make sure that it's set to loop. So when we get to the end, rather than it just kind of this weird stopping, it does loop around and start that slideshow over again. Okay, so we'll just kind of go back here and just kind of start from here and check out these images on your slideshow really quick. I think these are some really beautiful photos. Now, one of the things you want to make sure is when you have this kind of slideshow selected, there are a couple of options. Let me pause this here. There are a couple of options with how you can do image handling, okay? So if you go into the slideshow options, there's a place where you can select image handling, and then you can decide whether that slideshow will fill the entire image area. And what I mean is resize the image or upsize the image so that it fits into the entire space right here. Or there's an option where you can select to fit the entire image. And you might want to choose that option because what that option will do is downscale this image so that it fits without anything being cropped off. Because I'm assuming that this is more of a portrait oriented image and we're seeing a little bit of cropped off here maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I'm completely off and that's how the image is just actually appearing. So but again, here with this one right here, this being a maternity photo, you can tell right here, it looks like maybe we're missing a little bit of the image. So maybe just go in and look at the way your image handling is set up. Make sure that it's not cropping your photos and that it's showing the way that you want them to appear. Some absolutely beautiful photos though, Christine, and just beautiful photos. Really good job. I don't feel like there are too many. So just kind of going through really quick. And you guys can see, right, there's not like any random photos thrown in here. It's very on theme. It's very kids, weddings, maternity. That's all we've seen so far. And that is also what she told us that she did up in that title up at the top. Okay. Also, the homepage is super simple. I like this. There's not a lot of stuff spread out everywhere. And down here, if I scroll down to the bottom of the page, we get an idea of where you're located right here on the homepage. So good job getting that information right here on the homepage. It's really important, I feel, that within a few seconds of me being on your site as a visitor or whoever just stumbling across your site, that I know where you're located. That way I know if I can hire you, if I can't hire you, because you may not be located close enough to me. So good information to have on your site here. Okay, let's scroll up to the top. Let's take a look at this site menu. So we have home, contact, blog, your story, gallery, behind the scenes, and education. One thing I always like to point out is when you create a site menu, right, what you want to think about is first, what is the purpose of your site? Okay, and a lot of times the purpose of your site should probably be client acquisition first, and then servicing your already acquired clients second, right? So client acquisition first, and then servicing your existing clients second. So with that in mind, whenever you're creating your site menu and these items that you're putting up here and the order that you put them and how you title them, think about that, because what you're actually doing is you're building a path for people that land on your site to follow. Now, obviously, if they're already your clients, you've already had some interaction with them, you've probably spoken to them, they're probably a little familiar with how your site works. And so we don't have to be as particular about those things. It's really easy to set up client sections where it's just like clients, click here, or I don't even have my clients go to their website. I directly email them their gallery links. But when you're setting this up and you're thinking about client acquisition, think about the path that you want people to follow. And as a natural progression, we go from left to right. That's how we were taught. That's how most of us follow site menu items. And that's the path that you've laid out here. So again, I'm thinking about that. Is the contact page the first option that we want showing up here? What do you guys think in chat? What do you guys think about this site menu item? Is this kind of the path that you guys think is a good path? Let me know what you guys think, how you guys have yours set up there in chat. I'm curious to see. But let's go ahead and follow this path that you've set out for us. So you put contact. So as a visitor, not having explored any more of your site, I'm clicking the contact button just because that's the first site menu item there. So I'm going to go ahead and click that and just kind of take a look. Takes me to this. This looks like a custom page. Great job on that. Nice custom page. Really cool contact page. So if I scroll down, we've got these images and we've got the client reviews right here. So you've kind of taken two typical pages that we have as photographers, client reviews and a contact, and combine them together, which is really cool. So great job on that custom page. You might think about on this slideshow making a way where I can pause it, track back and forth. You can turn on and off the controls here so that I, as a visitor, could pause this and read through these. Some of these are rather long. I am not a speed reader. There's no way I could read that in the amount of time that I just had to read it. So something to think about there, right? When you're doing these kinds of things, they're great to do, but make sure that I can read it, because this is going to get really frustrating if I can't read these and it keeps scrolling by and I'm trying to read them and I have to wait. So think about that. Cool contact page though. This looks like you have an embedded form here. So this is really cool. Guys, if you haven't checked out custom pages yet, there's a lot you can do with custom pages. I definitely recommend that you go in there and play it with them and check them out. Okay, so let's go back to your blog, which is the next one, and let's take a look at your blog. Okay, and so hopefully if you are leading with your blog being one of your leading menu items, hopefully these blog posts are up to date, they're current, you're posting like once a week. If you're going to lead with that, your blog game has to be really strong if you're leading off with your blog. So let's go check out a blog post really quick and just take a look. And you guys can probably tell my throat is not feeling the best. I think I'm fighting some bronchitis, but I'm going to push through it. Okay, so let's see. Do your Gideons. So on your blog post, okay, and this is a nice mix of images and text. So I'm going to say great job on the blog post. Now I noticed that you have the dates hidden. That's a good tactic if you're not able to stay on top of your blogging regularly. At least I didn't show up here and see a blog post that was 2 years old. I actually have no idea when these blog posts were posted, unless maybe it's somewhere around here. So good job hiding that blog post. That way, if you're not able to stay on top, it doesn't look like this blog post is from 5 years ago. And this is also a really nice mixture of text and images in here, which is really cool. Okay, a lot of times I see people throw up blogs where they put a bunch of text and then some images and that's it. Or they put a bunch of images, a little text at the bottom or at the top, and then it's just straight images. And your blog should kind of read like a story. Have it in there mixed, make it keep people's attention, get them to do what you want them to do. As with anything that you put up online, there should be a purpose. You should be leading somebody to take some kind of specific action. So if you're telling the story about somebody's birthday party that you photographed and you have a lot of information in here, maybe you're constantly trying to guide the reader into, hey, maybe you want to book me, or click here to contact me and talk about your upcoming birthday that you would like to have photographed. Something like that in your blog post, call to actions. Okay, all right, let's check out your story. All right, and let's see here. Great about photo. Again, this is another custom page right here, you guys. So if you're wondering like, hey, how did they get the round photo with the information? This looks like, oh no, maybe this is just the built-in page and she uploaded a round photo with a white background. Either way, this is a really cool about page. You have a nice photo of yourself here. I see way too many about pages that doesn't actually have photos in it. So good job there, getting your photo on that about page. Looks like you have some good information in here. Always going to say, man, somebody show me an about page with a video, but I think you have some good information in here. Let's see, let's go to your gallery. So one of the biggest things I am confused about as a visitor, if I'm looking to hire you, Christina, as a photographer, where am I going to see your example work? Where do you want me to go to see your example work? Because you have gallery up here, right? And as visitors, we can kind of interpret that as like, okay, this is where the gallery of images are. But I'm looking for something like your portfolio, maybe sample work, things like that. Where am I going to see what you want me to see of your photography so I can decide if you're the photographer for me or not? So let's go check out your gallery. Let's go to engagements and let's just take a look and see what we see here. All right, so let's see. Are these client galleries or are these images? So let's take a look here. So if you guys notice, when I click on this, it doesn't show this image bigger. This shows me a gallery of this client's images. Okay, and that can be a little weird sometimes if you're a visitor and you're looking for portfolio sample work and you click on this. Maybe you're expecting to see the image larger, but it takes you into the client gallery. So as a visitor, I'm kind of like, whoa, is this a place that I'm supposed to be in? If I book a shoot with this photographer, are my photos going to end up here? So something to think about. I believe that you should really have a strong separation from what you want visitors to see and your client stuff. I think that there should be a very distinct separation between that so that when people are looking at photos, they're not confused by, am I seeing stuff I shouldn't be seeing? Are my photos going to end up here? Is this where I'm supposed to go? We don't want confusion. We want it to be very clear, very direct. This is where you're going to go to see my best engagement photos. This is where you're going to go to see my best wedding photos. Okay, but let's take a look at what you have set up here. Again, you have several galleries in here, and they look absolutely gorgeous, like absolutely stunning photos. I'm just left kind of wondering, is this where I'm supposed to be to see these images, to see this type of work? So just something to think about there. The other thing too is I'm noticing in your galleries here, we don't have a gallery caption. You do have a gallery title, which does include a location. So anytime you're building portfolio galleries, the one thing you want to think about is the title of the gallery. That information matters. Okay, that's searchable. Search engines can read it. They can index it. It's really important to make sure that you include more information in there than just a quick name. This isn't bad. You have the location, but you could say Jane and Joe engagement session, Laguna Beach, California. Or engagement photo shoot, or engagement photo shoot with pet. Think about that information, and then you could always add more information in the caption. And then let's scroll down to the bottom of this gallery. Okay, and the other reason why I don't really like using client galleries as portfolio galleries is because a lot of times your client galleries are going to have a lot more photos in there. Sometimes as photographers, we might even include photos in our clients' galleries that aren't technically solid images. You know, maybe we missed the lighting just a little bit or something like that, but the client had a good expression on their face and we know that they're going to want that photo. So we go ahead and include that. Well, is that something that we want showing in our portfolio? Because we really just want our best images showing in the portfolio. So something to think about when you're using client galleries as portfolio galleries as well. I know it kind of makes it a little easier, but at the same time, you always want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward for your visitors. So what I'm looking for at the bottom, and you guys can see there's lots of images in here. And what I'm looking for at the bottom is keywords and categories, which we don't have any. So in this gallery, there's not a lot of information that's guiding people to see this stuff from search. Okay, so whenever you create a portfolio gallery, you want to make sure that you're very selective with the photos, that it's really easy to navigate, that it's really apparent that this is where you want people to go to see examples of your work. And then you want to make sure that you take advantage of all the SEO tools that Zenfolio has available for you inside of your account so that you can get more traffic to those portfolio galleries, which will hopefully then lead to more people booking sessions with you. Also, I'm not seeing the book a session button anywhere, so if you haven't checked out Book Me yet, that's a great feature. It lets people actually book sessions with you on your site, so something definitely want to check out. Christina, I think you have a beautiful website. I love the layout. I love the design. I like how it feels really minimalistic. I would definitely consider maybe reorganizing your site menu and then actually building some portfolio galleries. If you're not familiar with building portfolio galleries here on Zenfolio, there's a really great video tutorial. It's called Optimizing, I think, your portfolio galleries for search. Definitely do a search for that video on our channel. It'd be a great one to check out. Okay, let me see. Let's go ahead. You guys throw another number out there in the chat for me. I forgot to ask, so throw another number in the chat. Let's see, what was the numbers that we did before? 1 to 107. So if you guys can throw a number 108 to, let me see what the numbers are. 108 to 205. If you guys can throw a number between 108 to 205 out in the chat, that will determine the next site that we review. And then after that, we'll take a quick break and then we'll be coming back to do one of your guys' live site reviews. So if you guys can just throw that number out in the chat. I have got to rest my voice, and I did just say God, I know, but I've got to rest my voice for a second because it's gonna give up on me if I don't. So let me get some water. Thank you, Lynn. Okay, Lynn said 111, so let me go grab that site. And hey, if you guys haven't got your site in, for a review. The next site review that we do is going to be coming from you guys in the live chat. So make sure that you get that your website link submitted. Katie threw that out in the chat. It's also below the video in the description. We're going to go grab number 111. Let's see here. 111 is, oh man. You guys would pick something that was hard for me to pronounce. Let's see if I can get this right. Let me just bring it over here. There we go. Is it, how would you guys say that? Leica Studio Photography? Somebody spell it out in the chat. Let me know if I'm saying it right, because I'm probably saying it wrong. Let's go ahead and get 15 minutes up on the clock so we can get this review going. I'll throw that link out in the chat for you guys as well. Let me just throw that out here. There we go. All right, we'll get the review time going. And let's just drop this down. Okay, so first of all, you do have a really cool logo, and you have that logo kind of recreated up here. Again, always think about the logos and the favicons up on the top, right? There's 16 pixels by 16 pixels. And so just simply taking the logo that you have here, downsizing it and putting it up there, might not be the best thing to do. You could definitely crop in a little bit tighter, change some things around, maybe make it focus in on more of a particular area so that it's a little bit more visible up here, because you guys can see kind of how hard that is to read. Not that this is a huge deal breaker at all. What you have is perfectly fine. It's just something I like to put out there. All right, let's see if we can get, so we have Tahoe Truckee. Tahoe Truckee, is that, am I saying it right? Truckee, I guess that's what it is. Tahoe Truckee Wedding and Family Photography up here. And then we have, I think it's leicastudio.com and then Leica Studio Photography. So one thing that I would point out here is think about your branding, okay? I've seen kind of 3 different uses of the word of your name. So we see up in the top here, we see Tahoe Truckee, we see leicastudio.com, and then we see Leica Studio Photography. So you might pick one of those and go with that, and make sure that you're using that across everything. This was probably, again, a lot of times when we create our account, we put this information in, we never go back and look at it, and then we do a lot of changes and we don't always remember to go back and change those kind of things when we do branding. So again, that's under your account settings, website, and then search engine optimization. Okay, so you want to kind of come back and update that to probably match some of this stuff down here, just to keep your branding consistent. Logo is really cool. I love the colors, very different, very like traditional looking colors. Very cool logo. I love the design. I think this is a really cool page. I like how you're using this sidebar layout. It definitely is something that is kind of different than a lot of people. I mean, a lot of us, we use the top bar navigation. It's kind of a standard thing, which you do have to use later as you progress through the site because of using the site header. But I do really like this kind of sidebar layout for your work here. I think it looks fantastic. And again, I think the logo is really cool and the colors are really cool. Some beautiful images, some absolutely beautiful images. Let's just take a look really quick. Seeing a lot of wedding photos, a lot of baby photos, just some really beautiful images. And then let's take a look here. So home, about, weddings and couples, newborns and babies, family portraits, and then we got blog and contact. So let's start off with your about page really quick. Let's take a look at that. All right, since that's kind of the path that you have set up for us to follow. And so now we kind of have this different navigation here. Okay, wow, this is interesting. Okay, so we have this kind of different navigation here, and this is a custom page is what this is. It's a custom page, and if we kind of go down here, they have this text in here, and let's see. So here is the location information. So, I mean, pretty nice. We get into the second site menu item in, or really the first one other than home, and we know where you're located, so I think that's fine. Yeah, this really cool about photo. And then down here at the bottom, you kind of have this form built in here. Okay, so where people can reach out and contact you about different dates and that kind of information. So this is cool. Great job getting that custom page set up. I think it's really cool. Let's keep moving along. So let's check out your weddings and couples. Now, I like this color up here. You might think about softening this up just a little bit on the bottom half. just to kind of put some separation between your header and the navigation and this down here. You might think about coming down in here and kind of softening this up just a little bit. Maybe dropping the opacity so it's still kind of the same color, but maybe it's a little lighter and not as harsh. And that way too, the black comes through a lot better. But let's check out your site menu. Really cool site menu. Again, you might want to think about doing something with this color right here just so that it's not so consistent with everything here. I like the brown, but it begins to look like a lot of brown everywhere. But I think you've done a really cool job with your custom theme, just modifying it just a little bit. But let's go ahead and follow the site menu, and this is really cool. So this is a really well thought out site menu, because if I'm interested in weddings and couples, okay, I can go here. It says wedding portfolio, pricing and FAQs, wedding date and availability. So what you've done is you've actually created a drop-down menu for each of the genres of photography that you do. So really cool. Let's go ahead and check this out. Let's start with your wedding portfolio. All right, and my internet is starting to slow down, so let's just take a look here. All right, so look at that photo. That photo is just beautiful. Beautiful photos. Just absolutely gorgeous photos. So a couple of things we want to talk about here. One, the title up here, weddings and couples. Again, going back to your gallery titles, those things matter, okay? When you title them just wedding and couples, then that's all the search benefit you're going to get out of it is wedding and couples. So throw in some more information in there. Throw in locations. Turn on the gallery caption. Okay, the gallery caption, and then go into that gallery caption and put some more information. Talk about the specific venues that you like to photograph weddings at, and then include a call to action for them to contact you to talk to them about their upcoming wedding. Call to actions everywhere, you guys, especially in your portfolios, getting people to just click and contact you. That's what you're after. When you show people your work, you're wanting to drive them to contacting you. And so putting those call to actions everywhere, especially in your gallery caption, have your gallery caption turned on. There are a lot of images in this, you guys, that can tell just by dragging this over. Okay, so look at how small my scroll bar is. So that doesn't mean that there's a lot of images. For weddings, you know, I definitely think that wedding portfolios are a little different. You definitely probably need to have a little bit more images than like a portrait session or something like that, just because there's so many different aspects to the weddings, right? And then depending on if you shoot outdoor weddings, indoor weddings, location weddings, there's just so many things that fall into that aspect. So I think, you know, having a larger portfolio for your weddings is fine. Just make sure that you are cherry picking your photos. Any photos that you feel kind of are repeated throughout it, you might think about removing. And then you always want to be staying on top of it, keeping it updated, replacing photos rather than constantly adding new ones, because you don't want somebody to have to really scroll way down. And this is why, right? Because if they have a slow internet connection, then they could be stuck catching photos waiting on them to load. Okay? So something to think about here. Now, if we go down to the bottom here, we're also missing caption and keywords. Okay, so right here, captions and keywords should be showing up. So again, if you've keyworded these photos and categorized these photos, if you keyworded them in Lightroom before you uploaded them, then you're not getting any benefits from that keyword. They have to actually show on the page in your website in order for that to actually help your search results. So something to think about there. Okay, now something really cool, and I think you guys, probably most of you guys saw it, but down here at the bottom, again, we kind of have this check date availability, send requests, and all of that information right here. Okay, and you guys are probably scratching your head like, how did they get this in the gallery? Well, that is actually in the footer, because in the footer, you can turn on a custom content section in your footer, which allows you to embed stuff like this contact form. Okay, so great job doing that. You do always need to be careful when you're messing with custom code, because we can only help you so much with custom code if we're not able to get it working. If it doesn't work the way that you think it should, then if it's custom code, chances are we're probably not going to be able to help much. We'll do the best that we can. But it looks like you do have this set up pretty well. So great job here. And that, if you are interested in that, I think I did a video on embedding custom content into your footer. It's an older video. It might be hard to find. If you type in custom code, it should pop up somewhere on our YouTube channel. So it's definitely worth a watch. But this is really cool. Okay. Let's go back up to the top. Let's keep moving along. Let's see, weddings. Let's go to your pricing and FAQs. Again, that contact thing at the bottom, that, you know, find out about dates thing at the bottom. Guys, just a couple of weeks ago, we dropped the Book Me button. So the Book Me add-on, if you haven't checked it out yet, you definitely need to be checking it out. Go to our YouTube channel, type in Book Me. We did a whole live stream on it. It will show you exactly how to set it up, how it works. It's really cool. And you don't have to do any custom coding. Basically, you just turn it on, create your services, and then you can turn that on any page you want and let people book you, pay you for the bookings directly through your Zenfolio site without having to do all that extra custom coding. Okay, so this is the wedding photography coverage and rates. This is the FAQ page. Really cool. So let's see. No two weddings are the same. Give me a call. So right here, whenever you kind of put this information in where you are telling people to do something, make it as easy as possible. This is a custom page, so you can go in here and highlight that give me a call and actually turn it into a link. But this is really cool. Great job taking on the custom pages. Wedding FAQ. What is included in your wedding package? What is your style? How long does it take? So this is a really, really cool custom page. It looks like you do have this embedded form in here. Again, the Book Me add-on would definitely help with this, kind of replace that. Let's see. Let's go back up. Let's check out your... Did I see any pricing? Okay, right here, begin at 2000. Okay, so I did see pricing there. Date and availability. That's probably going to take us to that form page again that we kind of already saw, but let's take a look at that really quickly. Okay, yeah, so again, this is a custom page. Again, really cool custom pages. I love that you're taking on the custom pages, doing so much. I love all the custom things that you've done to this site, the theme and everything. You've got some really cool stuff going on the site. All right, let's keep moving on. Let's go check out your newborn portfolio, and let's just take a look at that. I'm probably going to have the same feedback. I think things are probably going to be consistent. This seems to be the #1 thing that I talk about on Site Review Tuesdays is the title and the caption and the categories and keywords. All of that stuff is so important for your portfolio. That's why I say this week after week. That's why I never skip it if I see it's not there. Because, you guys, it doesn't matter how beautiful your images are. If nobody is seeing them and if nobody's finding your portfolios, then it doesn't matter. Right? You have some absolutely beautiful work, some very beautiful photos. But if you're not taking the time to go in and really, take advantage of the SEO tools that Zenfolio has and think about the way you're titling your galleries, writing in some captions, making sure that that's showing, and then keywording your photos and turning on the categories and keywords so that Google can index that and know how to present your site during searches accordingly, then it doesn't really matter how beautiful your photos are because you are lowering the chances of them showing up in search results by not including that information. So definitely some information you want to include. Again, really cool custom at the bottom here. Absolutely beautiful images like you are. You have some really solid work, some very, very beautiful photos. Just absolutely gorgeous photos. All right, let's go to your family and portraits. Let's take a look at that portfolio really quick. We'll see if we can get to the blog. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have the same feedback on this one as I did previously. Thinking about the title, children and families. Children and families what? Children and families where? Are there specific parks in your area that you shoot? Do you come to the house and do home sessions? Do you photograph large families? Do you specialize in families with small kids? These are kinds of things that you can include in that caption so that when people are doing searches, you have a better chance of showing up in their search results. So stuff to include up here. Just some beautiful photos though, like absolutely gorgeous photos. Very beautiful photos. You have a very distinct style, a very unique style. It's very just beautiful. All right, let's keep going. Probably the same feedback. I'm going to guess that we don't have categories and keywords down here, which I am right. Also, again, paying attention to the number of photos. Make sure that you're showing your absolute best of your best. You don't want your visitor to have to scroll a whole lot to see these images. We don't want visitors hanging out in the portfolio galleries, right? We want them to see enough photos that they're like, yes, this photographer is awesome. I don't need to spend any more time looking through here. I'm going to reach out and contact them. That's the goal of the portfolio. Let's check out your blog. All right, so blog. And let's see, we got a couple of blog posts. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like you have the date hidden. Let's see if it's hidden on the next page. All right, and this is a really cool blog post. So it's talking about the different products that you offer. Really cool stuff. You might even think about maybe if you've done several blog posts where you're talking about different products, maybe even including those in kind of a drop-down menu where it's like product information, and you could have keepsake boxes, link directly to these blog posts, so they're used more for that than just on your blog. Let's check out your new headshots link really quick. All right, so it looks like that's going to a different account. I won't have time to get into that one. Let's click on your contact page. I got like 9 seconds left. Let's take a look at that. I'm assuming that this is going to be that custom page that we saw earlier. Looks like it is. Hey, Paulina, very, very cool page. I love the customization. I would just definitely think about adding more information into your portfolios. That seems to be the reoccurring theme that I have every Site Review Tuesday. More information in your captions and your titles, adding those gallery keywords and categories. So thank you so much for submitting your site. All right, you guys, I'm going to take a quick break, drink some water, and we're going to come back and review one of your sites live. So this is your last few seconds that you have to get that site submitted before we jump back and do the review. So let's take a quick break.
Hello, Zen friends. Katie here from Zenfolio's customer support team. Thank you for joining us for Site Review Tuesday. If you are here for our live broadcast, you may already see me right over here in YouTube chat, ready to help with any questions you may have. For those of you watching the recorded version of our broadcast, you could submit any questions that you might have in the link below in the video description. You can also submit your own site for our review in the links below. Also, if you love us as much as we love you, please be sure to click the like button on this video and subscribe to our channel for lots of great info on managing your Zenfolio account and customizing your site. We're so grateful to have these pre-submitted user sites. Now let's take one of your live submissions. Y'all are awesome. Thank you for watching.
All right. Thank you, Katie. Katie does such an awesome job. You guys make sure you show her some love there in the chat. Let's see. Who do we have hanging out with us? I haven't said hi to many people today. Sorry, guys. I'm really fighting something, so I know I'm moving fast, as if that makes time go by any faster. Let's say hi to some people really quick. Let's see. We've got Amy, Hache Mendez, Ian, Zapcat says, is it Tuesday? Well, unless I'm extremely confused and you guys just haven't told me, I think it's Tuesday. That's kind of how I feel. It's been weird the past couple of days. Let's see. Lynn, Judy, Vish. Hey, Vish, how's it going? We have Ravens Airy. Is that how you say it? Am I saying it right? Ravens Airy. Hopefully so. Chris, thank you guys for jumping on here and hanging out with us. All right. The random site from you guys that was chosen today looks like it's going to be, it's Ravens Airy Photography. Am I saying that right? You guys, I cannot read for some reason. Ravens Airy Photography. I think that's how you say it. Let me drag it over here really quick. We'll get rid of this one and we'll get ready to start the review here. Let's see. Man, I'm out of water too. Okay. We'll put 15 minutes up on the clock and we'll go ahead and get this started. Hopefully I'm saying the name right. Yes, I am saying the name right. Okay, that's 10 points for me. I'll count my points up later. All right, let's go ahead and go. Here we go. All right, so just getting started here. Let me throw the link out in the chat for you guys so you have that. There we go. We'll pull this down. Let you guys check this out. Really cool logo. I love the logo. I love that you can do and kind of customize your theme to kind of match up. Let's see what you have up here in the top. I never remember how to get this to show up. Let's see. I think if I click on it. Okay, so it looks like it's just your name. So you definitely might think about coming back and adding some more information to that. Again, that information, let me just show you guys where that information's at really quick, because I know I can take a little bit of extra time if I need to. So I've been saying this with just about every site that we've pulled up. Add more information into that title. Guys, this is where you do that. So if you go to your account name right up here, click on account, and Then if you go down to, let me just bring this back up so you guys can see it. If you go down here to website right here, okay, click on website, and then you can go to search engine optimization. And that is where you put that information. So as you guys can see, I've done a very poor job at setting this up. It says Zenfolio Live Photography. So, what I would recommend doing is coming in here, adding a little dash or a tube or whatever kind of separator you want to put in there, and then put the type of photography you do and your primary location that you service. Okay, and then down here, make sure that you have more information than just what I have here as well. Again, you want to talk about the type of photography you do, the specific locations that you shoot at, and that stuff needs to be included here. Okay, so that's information that you can add up to the top up there or on your site, so it'll show up here, but more importantly, that shows up in search results, which is why I talk about it every single time I see it, because that shows up in search results. Whenever you do a Google search and you see those bold heading titles, that is what you were seeing, is that website title. And that's why I put so much emphasis on it. Okay, again, really cool logo. I do like that you have put this information in here. It's so nice to see within a few seconds what area you service. It works okay for most of the images that you have here on your homepage. One of the things you might think about doing is that we do have layouts that have a little space down here where you can have this information showing. And you might think about transitioning this information down there on one of those layouts that shows it down here, just because you have some really cool photos here. Like especially, let me go back to, well, like this one, for instance, right? Where did it go? Right here. Just with these overlays and stuff, I'm kind of losing some of the image there. And so you might think about transitioning this information down here, turning this off, so you kind of have a clear path to see the images here. Okay, all right, let's see. What is so your home has a hover, home, Google reviews, Facebook group, and the art of photography. So that's interesting. What is the Google reviews link taking us to? So that wants me to log into Google, which I don't think I want to do. Is that set up to where people can leave you a Google review? Is that what it is? Or are we just able to view the Google review? So that might be something you want to think about. I'm not sure if that's quite the interaction that you wanted, but when I clicked on that, it took me to ask me to log into my Google review or my Google account. Is that to leave a Google review, or I'm just a little confused by that? So something to think about there. Especially this being the first site menu item, people as visitors coming, hovering over this, clicking on that, and now we're really confused as to what we're supposed to do. So just something to think about. Let's check out your client access. So we have client galleries, client access, which I think is fine. What is the difference between client galleries and client access, though? Okay, so client galleries take us directly to client galleries, which is fine. That's pretty clear. Client access goes to the client, the gallery ID or the client access. So probably what I would think about doing is, if you're going to use this, I would probably settle on one method to get your clients to their galleries, because you kind of have two different methods in play here. You have client access, client galleries, and then client access, client access. Okay, so if you are wanting to use the actual built-in client access feature where they enter their gallery ID, it takes them to their gallery, you don't really need the drop menu down. You can just link right to the client access page, and then you don't have this client galleries here. Now, the other thing that I would think about doing is, again, when you think about your website, in most cases, if we would really sit down and have a conversation, your website's purpose primarily should be focused first on client acquisition, second on servicing existing clients, right? And so I would probably think about taking this client link and sliding it down towards the end, because clients, when actual clients come to your site, you're going to already have had some interaction with them. So it would be really easy for them to say, hey, your images are going to be available on my website in a couple of weeks or whatever. Just go to ravenzary.com and click on the client access link on the far right side of the screen. It'll be the last site menu item, because you're already having that interaction with them, so you have time to explain things to them. Whereas visitors come, right, And again, just because that's how we learn it, we kind of do it by default. We start things from left to right. So if a visitor comes here from search or whatever you having no interaction with, you need these first few menu items to really hit home with them. Okay? You need to really connect with them on those first 3 menu items, because if they're hitting things that are confusing for them, if they're not able to figure out where they're supposed to go, chances of them kind of looking through the rest of your site to figure it out are probably slim to none. They're probably moving on. We have really short attention spans these days. And so those first few menu items should really grab visitors' attention, make it easy, help them get to where you want to go. And that way you are taking control of their experience and leading them down the path that you want them to follow. Okay? So something to think about. Let's go to your galleries. Let's check out your galleries. So galleries, and we have featured galleries, and then we have paintball. So if I am a visitor coming to your site and I'm interested in having you do my photos, I've kind of already seen some of the work that you do. And so it looks like you kind of do, family portrait stuff like that, some landscape stuff. I saw some cosplay looking stuff in there, event type of stuff. So it looks like you do a lot of different types of photography. So let's utilize a drop down so that if I'm a visitor coming here to look to hire you, I can go here and it says portfolio. And in there, I see a drop down that will take me directly to galleries that contain the best of the different genres of photography that you do. Maybe you have a cosplay, an event, a kids and family, a modeling session or something like that, so that I'm able to quickly get where you want me to get and see the best photos that you've done in that particular genre. All right, but let's go ahead and take a look, because right now if I'm looking at galleries, again, I'm always going to think of looking at this from a visitor's perspective of never having an interaction with you, because that's who we want to service first. And so if I'm clicking on that, if I go back to that hover really quick, if I hover over this and I'm thinking of this from a visitor's perspective, I'm now saying, well, there's galleries and there's featured galleries and there's paintball. So I have no idea what the difference is. If I go, maybe I go explore, maybe I don't. And then we get to here. This is your all photographs group. You probably never want to show that. In fact, I'm going to recommend that you probably never show that, because you're probably going to want to have areas within your account where you have different galleries, different sections of things that you may or may not want people to be able to access. And so showing your all photographs group basically lets people just browse your hard drive on Zenfolio. Now, if you have it password protected, obviously we can't get in there if we don't know the password, but still I'm browsing your entire Zenfolio hard drive. Now, again, going back to a visitor's perspective, right? Think about this from a visitor's perspective. If I went to your site and I clicked on home and I already am kind of confused by that, and then I go to the next menu item and I go to galleries and now I'm here, where am I supposed to go to see what I'm interested in seeing? Like, this is a really cool photo. I see some cool stuff. But if I'm interested in having you shoot my event, but I want to see some event examples first, where am I supposed to go to see that? So these are questions that you have to think about. Your clients or people who are visitors who you want to be your clients, when they go to your website, what are they looking for? What are they asking? What are they trying to find? And you want to answer those questions as quickly as possible, and also get them to where they want to go as quickly and easily as possible as well. Okay, let's go on portraits, because I do see this one is labeled portraits. So I'm thinking maybe this is a portraits portfolio. Let's go check it out really quick. It looks like it is. So again, titles matter. Now, one of the things I do want to point out here is you guys have probably seen it. As we're going through here, there's been kind of some shift in themes, right? So some shifts in these themes. Things look a little different from page to page. Here we are on the home page, and we're going to expect transitioning from the home page to a gallery to look a little different, just because there are different options that are available. But you want to make that transition as simple as possible, because once you leave the homepage logo and the homepage menu are no longer available, and you have to transition to the header menu and the header logo. And so whenever you go into a gallery, all right, and just bring this down, something to watch here your menu items are starting to get into your logo. So maybe you think about changing this header layout to a header layout B, where it puts the logo center over the top of the menu, and then it takes your menu items and puts them below it in kind of a bar. I would consider switching to that. It's definitely going to mimic your homepage menu a lot more as well. And then you can play around with the colors and kind of try to keep things looking consistent when we transition from page to page. Okay, but now that we're in here, this is a group page, but then watch what happens when I click on a gallery here. Okay, we're looking at a totally different theme now. And there are people who like that. I mean, there are people who go in and they'll customize a theme and look for each particular gallery, and that's fine if that was intentional. If it's not intentional, it's just something you want to be aware of, making sure that you're keeping things consistent, making sure that the colors stay the same. Right now, it's really hard for me to read some of these site menu items up here because of the color changes. So just something to think about. And then again, as I've mentioned before, thinking about the way that you title this, adding a caption, making sure that you have keywords and categories so that this stuff shows up. All right, so making sure that this portfolio is really going to attract the attract the right kind of people. It's going to show up in search results. It has information for Google to actually index and read and understand. So lots of things that you can add in here to kind of help along with that. Okay, let's go back to your galleries. Let's go to your back to the galleries page really quick. Let's go check out your street machine just because I'm super interested in that gallery. Some really, really cool photos though. Absolutely cool photos. Man, yes. All right, since we're on a car gallery, we're talking about cars. What do you guys think? Who is a classic muscle car fan, or do you guys like the newer models? Which one is which? Let me know in chat. I'm curious what you guys think. I'm more of a classic car fan myself, but curious what you guys think. Although I was right in high school when Fast and Furious came out, and I may or may have not went out and bought a Honda and tried to make it look really cool and pretend like I was in Fast and Furious. That may or may not have happened. Okay, so again, here we are in a different gallery. Again, the colors have changed, and that's fine if that's intentional, but it is just something to be aware of if it's not intentional. Okay? Personally, when it comes to visitors and people navigating through, I think it's probably a best practice to have your portfolio galleries all kind of follow the same theme, so we don't feel like we're going to a different website. But if this is intentional, it's perfectly fine. Okay, let's see here. So some really cool photos. All right, and again, kind of making sure that you're making the distinction, okay, between this is a gallery where I've went and shot this event and now I'm posting the photos up for sale, versus this is a gallery where if you are having a car show or you're hosting an event, you might want to see examples of my work. This is where you go. They can be the same thing, but they can also be very different. And in fact, most of the time they're probably going to be different because your events example gallery or portfolio should contain photos from the best photos from multiple events kind of mixed in, right? We don't want it to all be the same event. We want to see a diversity, different locations, different places. That way you can show the amount of work that you've done and that kind of thing. So let's see, a lot of site menu items. Let's go check out your prints really quick on the collections. Man, okay, digital art prints. Look at that. That looks really cool. Let's take a look. Some really cool stuff in here. Some really, really cool stuff. I'm seeing a lot of like photo manipulation stuff. So I'm seeing it visually. I'm not seeing it spelt out anywhere, right? So I haven't seen anywhere where there's text that talks about the photo manipulation, the digital manipulation, doing these kinds of things, to where if I'm somebody looking for that type of work, that Google would understand that your page is about that type of work and lead people to it. So again, always thinking about the captions, the way you have things titled, all of that stuff. All right. Unfortunately, I am out of time. Raven, you have some cool images on here, some really cool stuff. Again, with most everything, for you, I would say the most important part is let's start making some distinctive sections in your account. Where do visitors need to go? Where do you want them to go? What do you want them to accomplish? What questions do you think they're going to have that you can answer? And how can you set this site up so that they can get quickly to what they are looking for or what you want them to see, because you really want to design a path for them to follow so you can control that experience for them, and basically leading them to contacting you and hiring you as a photographer is the ultimate goal. After you kind of create that distinction, then you can think about, okay, now I have this flow set up. I have it the way I want. I really like it. It's really intuitive. Now, how do I want to service my existing clients? What do I want that flow to look like? For me personally, I don't even put existing clients galleries available from the drop-down menu. I use the direct email invite, but that's just the way that I do it. It doesn't have to be the way that you do it. There are many people who use the client access or just linking to the client galleries or even a client drop-down. If your client's cool with their photos being public and accessible from a drop-down, keyword the heck out of those photos, write a caption, put in a really good title, because those are pages on your site that are indexable by Google and can just help bring in more traffic from search results. All right, really cool photos there, you guys. Really cool sites throughout the entire thing. Not a whole lot of like big changes, just kind of rethinking the way that you're setting things up a little bit, improving that navigation experience. Let's see. So what did you guys say? Let's see here. What do we got? Let's see who was in the classic cars. So let's see. Raven says, I'm learning a lot. Glad I made it. Yeah, absolutely glad you made the stream as well. I love doing these site reviews. It feels like a sprint sometimes for me because it's like a non-stop talking stream, but you know what? It's worth it. Hopefully you guys get some helpful information, because we really just want you guys to be as successful as possible utilizing Zenfolio, seeing the tools. And what I love is seeing all of the different ways that you guys have taken our features, our platform, and modified it, manipulated it, and used it to serve your purpose, and the different things that people do with it. Like that custom footer that we saw earlier was really creative. All right, let's see. Katie is a classic cars girl. 24/7 Media Group says right here, classic. I'm a classic most of the time. Desiree, I think I said it right. Desiree, I can't read again. Street Machines is the car club I do photos for. Lynn says he's classic for sure. Now living near Detroit, and it's cool to see the evolution. Oh man, I bet that is cool. Very cool, you guys. Very cool. All right. Unfortunately, guys, we are out of time. I know I'm ending it a little bit earlier, but I'm about out of breath. So I do want to say thank you guys so very much for hanging out with me today. Raven, Hashe Mendez, let's see, Desiree, or hopefully I'm saying it close to right. If not, you guys are always welcome to make fun of me and how terrible I am at pronouncing names. Desiree, okay, there we go. I like it. That's a really cool spelling. Let's see. Gustavo. Let's see who else did I miss. 24/7 Media Group. Thanks for jumping on here and hanging out with me today. Amy, Joaquin, Judy, Lynn, Vish, and let's see, Ann Oliver and Zapcat. Anybody else that I missed? Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys got some helpful information. Don't forget, coming up on Thursday the same time, I hope to see you guys there. We're going to be doing Zenfolio Live on Thursday. I'm going to have a special guest. I won't get to talk as much, which might be good. I'm going to have a special guest hanging out with me. We're going to talk about the automated free client marketing campaigns that Zenfolio does for you guys. Something that you can opt into if you've never heard about these, or maybe you've checked them out in the past but you haven't joined, or just maybe you want to see what's coming up. Make sure that you join us this Thursday, same time, you guys. It's going to be a really cool stream. Again, we're having a special guest. And hey, until then, make sure that you guys do something nice for somebody. Make sure that you call your mom or your dad, which I need to do. Tell somebody how much you appreciate them. Encourage somebody. Lift somebody up. Be a good human. And hey, you guys have a great rest of your week. I'll see you guys again on Thursday.